they called me and they asked me, Jose, what would be interesting to teach during Festiva? And I go, pues, voy a Texas. Texas, they have the best two mariachis in the world, I think, So they go, it's yeah, you should give yourself a big round of applause for that. And they're teachers too. And I've been coming here for so many years, I think since the early 90s, the first time that I went to La Jolla High School. And wow, the changes and how much it's progressed has really, really impressed me. Not only me, but a lot of the mariachis that are throughout the world. Now, they all look at you guys here in Texas and they say, esos chavitos sí están bien avanzados, y hasta celosos se ponen a veces, ¿verdad? But it's a good type of jealousy. You guys are doing amazing. So I said, well, why don't we talk about a little bit about the singing style of the mariachi ensemble. A lot of times when we see music that's written, it's put in front of us, and we see straight quarter notes or straight eighth notes. When we play, in the old days we would say, así está escrita, pero así no se toca. And the students will go, that's confusing. I want to know how they play it, So because they're thinking, well, I want to play it, I would play it in band, or I would play it in jazz band, or concert band, whatever. Pero el mariachi no es así. Okay. Así está escrito, pero ¿cómo se toca? Y dicen, they would say, well, just follow me. I go, okay, well, that doesn't do me any good. Well, what we do, I want you guys to try to understand where I'm coming from. When we play, we try to actually say the words of the songs, or pretend that we're singing a certain line. So the spacing of the notes aren't the way they're written, straight. We play them like if we were to talk them or to sing them. I'm going to give you some examples. Before I do that, we're going to talk a little bit about sones. El son que todo el mundo, el rey de todos los sones, es el son de la negra, which is the most popular song I think in the world. And the flavor behind that are really the accents in the sones. And also guapangos, sones jarochos, but basically son jalisciense, como el son de la negra. I'm going to have them play just the introduction for you guys, okay? And then we're going to start picking it apart a little bit. Go ahead and play. Up to there. Now, we're going to add one accent. So when we do, on that, right on one, okay? And it's a slight difference. I don't know if you heard that difference. It's a little bit what we call it within us. It's a swing, a mariachi swing. That's how we approach stuff like that. Now, when we go to the next part, go ahead and play that part, please. So now we're playing that, and it's very, very close. That's what I love about Aslan. It's very, very, very close to how all the top mariachis play. So what we're gonna do is every time that you play a down bow and an up bow, dig in. Just a little bit more. One more time. guys tell the difference? It's a slight difference. But when you have 6 violins, 7 violins playing like that, there's this feel coming from the sound of the ensemble that it's algo más alegre, you know? And it's just a slight difference, no? And now we talked to maybe your violin professor. He might say, no, no. That would happen also with the trumpet professor probably too. Don't single tongues like that's too aggressive. It's bad for your embouchure, stuff like that. But you know, we're playing folk music, right? A certain style of music. But you wouldn't play bluegrass like the way you would play Tchaikovsky or something. You're not playing like bluegrass, right? So let's go to the next part of La Negra. So when we do this, I'm going to sing to him a certain type of phrasing. We call it una barrida de algo, no? It's almost like a triplet within that measure. Instead of even like that. We could change it 2 different ways. It just depends on the decision the director takes, right? Try that part. Right there. So think of it. 1, 2, 3, 1. Just play that part. The last one, just play like a triplet. So the accents on the down. So the up goes right on too, right? 1, 2, 3, 1. We go on automatic, right? Because we play it so much one way. But sometimes we would do it in the old days like that. So when we do, we play a little bit. Different feel, but it's flavorful, you know. It's not written in stone, no, you gotta play it this way. There are many ways that a song could be interpreted. That was a beautiful thing of mariachi. You go back 100 years. You would go to one part of Jalisco and they play El Tirador or El Carretero in a certain way. Then you go to another town and they play it a whole different way. It was their form of interpretation, of expressing themselves. También los mágicos eran diferentes. There wasn't like a certain format or a certain bass line. Everybody really played different according to where they were living, right? So the next part that we're gonna play, life, you know? Yeah. So then we go, that part with the trumpet, it's like an extra, staccatísimo, no? We'll say staccatísimo, no? So if I play it, how many trumpet players do we have here? So much. So, you know, when you're playing and they tell you, okay, this is like single tonguing, usually you hit the note and the tongue stays down. So it sounds like this. In mariachi, we return the tongue back behind the teeth, right? So, en español decían, truena las notas, truénalas, truénalas, truénalas. ¿Qué quiere decir truénalas? They gotta sound like thunder, you know, it's gotta attack, you know, attack. So, cuando somos nomás cuatro, ¿no? There's only four of us, but it sounds very lively. You know, it's the way that we interpret the music, right? So if I play it less attack, it'll sound like this. About 30% more lively. And the beauty of it is that we're connecting with each other. That's why the accents are very important, because you're telling me, hey, this is where it's at. Because if you don't do that, we don't connect. I mean, you're playing your part and it's precise and everything, but the accents, when you dig in, it's like you're telling me, here's the sweet, this is where it's at. So when we play, we're actually having fun because we're all riding in the same car, you know? It's a beautiful feeling, you know, when you play son tras son. It's really funny, but the first time that we went to Jalisco must have been maybe about 23 years ago. Fuimos a Tamazula, Jalisco. And we were doing our show, and Don Arturo Mendoza had just retired from Mariachi Vargas, the harp player, you know? And he went to go see our show. And we were playing all more stuff, you know, different repertoire and stuff. And it was sort of new for a lot of people there. And some gentleman in the front said, oye, ¿pueden tocar el maracumbe? Sí, ¿cómo no? Pero another gentleman told me, no pidan muchos sones porque no saben tocar sones, ellos no tocan muchos sones. Y esos son pueblos, you know, Tamazula, Zapotepec, you know, puedes ir Tecalitlán, Cocula, muchos lugares, you know, those places in Jalisco. Son soneros, they love sones, right? So I remember us, we were playing about an hour of puro sones. Son tras son tras son, that they were just listening. Digo, oye, los mariachis casi no tocan sones. Resulta que en Jalisco casi no tocan muchos sones. Now they're beginning to play more sones. But 23 years ago, it wasn't popular to play a lot of sones. And you know who made it more popular now to play sones? You guys in Texas. Really? What you guys do and what your teachers, you know, put in front of you, sometimes say, vamos a estudiar un son. That has made it popular again. So now you have the many mariachis beginning to play sones. Sometimes they're looking for new sones or old sones. I mean, for me, I like to write new sones, right? So when you play a song, just remember, always try to be in contact with your rhythm section. Because for me, my articulation is his right hand. We have to be together. He has to feel like he's playing, and he goes, wow, the trumpet is like right with my hand. It's like, we're together, we're like feeling the, and that's the beauty of it, right? And his right hand, his bow hand, has to feel like, wow, it feels really fun playing, you know? Let's go to the next part, no? Esa ya la tocamos, ¿no? Vamos a poner ya. towards the end, he started digging in again. That connects you with me. Right? So when we play un aplauso para ellos. When you hear a mariachi that's well rehearsed and you hear it for the first time, you say, wow, the impact is really beautiful. But when you hear it a second time, you hear it a third time, you hear the group a fourth time, then you start saying, if they did this, if they did this, it'll still be even more impactful. You know, why does that group sound so much more solid than this one, or more flavorful than this one? And it's in the little details, right? So when we go from the song Jalisciense, we go to a ranchera. Go ahead and play la música del medio de. ¿Era un mundo raro? Sí. This is from the song that he was singing. De un mundo raro. The lyric would say, quiero ser velador, que me amor y que nunca he llorado. So when we're singing it, we're not singing, y que nunca he llorado. We say it, y que nunca he llorado. There's a certain swing to it when we're singing it, right? So when we're playing it, we're thinking like that, like we're singing. If you notice, I don't know if you notice, I'm going to play it straight now, okay? Could you hear a difference? There's a slight difference, right? And we're going to play it con más placer. Right there, it's a slight difference. You know? You say, it sounds like 20% nicer, like it sounds more heartfelt. Well, that's because right now we're playing, or he's following, right? We're following each other. But when I'm playing, I'm thinking, I'm not thinking, right? Even when you sing, you don't want to sing that straight. You want to phrase, sometimes, in many cases, we'll back phrase towards the end of a line, you know. We're just go to something that's more, algo más movido como, el rey o ella, So you hear the quarter notes, they're pretty solid, right? So now do this. Ella quiso quedar. Think of the words. Ella quiso quedar. There's like a little anticipation on some of the ones. No. Ella quiso quedar. a slight difference, you know. So when you play with the trumpet, that we did, I was embellishing a little bit. I could do it because I'm playing alone. With two trumpets, that's an no-no, right? You can do that. But playing alone, I'm a little bit more free, right? So you notice a little difference? Just a little difference. Estamos cantando, ¿no? Estamos cantando. Let's do it one more time. There's a difference, you know, pero es muy importante, the trumpet, we're the loudest, right? The ensemble trumpet players, yeah? So what we do is very, very important. We sort of have to have a certain guide and a certain line that we have to follow when we're playing this type of music, because, which is I think like 80% of it. Another part that's very important is when we do vibrato, the trumpets, to be as centered as possible with your vibrato, because it sounds more pleasant to the ear when we play them. When we play something slower, like Por un Amor, you know, yeah. Let's go up a third. Es la niña de amor que se acaba. You see how we're thinking of sort of like the lyrics? So it gives us sort of a guide of how we're going to phrase it. No? So when you do it with the trumpet, it just becomes more, it sounds more sentimental, right? As opposed to play, sometimes a little bit, yeah? But it just gives it that little edge, you know, that's very, very important for us that interpret mariachi music. So just remember how important it is for you to listen. If I could recommend some of the records, and I usually do, try to get some of the old records. Amalia Mendoza, where she's singing Sufriendo a Solas, that kind of stuff, you know, Chavez, or singing El Bandolero, those songs. That's like the best guide for us that interpret mariachi music. Try to keep that in mind, because la música mexicana es música del corazón. It's the music that comes from the heart, and we cannot let other type of influences of music, you know, come into something like that. You know, yes, we play other genres. Sometimes we play classical, semi-classical. Sometimes we play, you know, other types of songs that are, you know, cumbias. But when you're going to play ranchero, play it in that way. You know, always think that when you play a melody and an adorno, something that you do in a song, and whatever part you have, that it's always has to sound very, very musical. Very musical. Follow the leader in your section. Very important. And obviously the leaders have to try to do what their directors ask them to do, because the director is the one that has the sort of the overall view of how the piece that you're studying is supposed to sound like, the finished product. So it's very, very, very important. Quiero que me le dé un fuerte aplauso otra vez, por favor. Yeah. Sí, van a tocar nomás un son más y ya vamos a terminar. Toque un poquito el camino de Bolívar. So there, we're going to start. We're going to add some grace notes. So we're going to instead of like now you guys play it. Sometimes the trumpet won't play it, and a lot of people that transcribe, they hear the trumpet, they go, "Oh, that's the way it is." No, the violinists usually play it. You know. There you go. Trumpet, trumpet. The anticipations, are very, very, very important. So when we're playing, we're going, we're going to anticipate that. Anticipate that. Instead of da 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 try that. Go ahead and play from the beginning, and when we get to that part, we're going to hear the difference between that anticipation and the other one. When it goes with the manito, eh? One more time. That anticipation that locks in with what you're doing, because the anticipation happens right when you're going to do your melody. And it sounds nice. The other way, it feels weird. But I do it with the anticipation. So now, the trumpet, right? And I'm playing, it's a solo part, right? The two trumpets usually don't play that. So now I'm going to play it, embellish it a little bit within what you guys are doing, okay? You know, it's like, it's not so predictable. But yet, once we know that we play it, it's like every song that we play, we know where we're going. Right away when you hear a lead, whether it's the first violin that's guiding everybody, or a trumpet, you know, the ideal thing is for the trumpet and the violin to be on the same page. That's the best. So thank you so much for sitting here for this presentation. Un aplauso para ti, para nosotros. Very, very talented. Muchas gracias. Gracias, Pancho. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Gracias a todos ustedes. Gracias.
I said we appreciate your work and wisdom, and on sharing your incredible talent. And coming all the way from California. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor. Thank you so much. We get to hear this Rapsodia performed in an original composition with Mariachi Aslan and Mariachi Juvenil Aslan. It's going to be fabulous. Okay, so we're getting ready for the competition, the vocal competition. Middle school is first, and then the high school. So if you are competing at that level, let's get you into a holding room so you can warm up and get ready. So anybody